Since its announcement at ElixirConf this year, the formatter coming to Elixir 1.6 is getting a lot of love. In this episode, we'll take a quick dive into the formatter to get a feel for how it will work. Since it's planned to be released with Elixir 1.6, we'll need to install it. I'll use Homebrew and install it with brew install elixir head. Once it's finished, we'll check that the version is correct. Great, we see 1.6. Now let's view the formatter's current documentation by running mix help format. And we can see that to run the formatter, we'll use mix format and pass in either a file or file pattern. There's also info on different options the formatter accepts. In addition, it tells us there's a .formatter.exs file we can use to customize the formatter, and recommends when to run the formatter. Now that we know the basics of the formatter, let's see it in action. Here I've got a simple module with a few minor formatting issues, like an extra space between the module definition and the first function, and missing spaces between function parameters. Let's go back to the command line and we'll run mix format with the module we want to format, and then we'll pass check formatted, which will tell us if the file has been formatted. Great, it tells us this file hasn't yet been formatted. So let's run the formatter on it. And if we go back to our module, we can see it's been formatted. The empty line between the module definition and the first function is gone, and there are spaces between the function parameters. Now let's take the next step and create a .formatter.exs file that we can use to customize the formatter. In it, we'll add the inputs field and give it a list of the file patterns we want to format. In this case, we'll tell it to format all .ex and .exs files in our lib directory, along with our mix.exs file. There are a few other options we can add to customize our formatter. Let's add two of them, line length and rename deprecated at. First, we'll add line length, which simply tells the formatter our limit on the length of a line. Let's set ours to be 60. And before we add rename deprecated at, let's take another look at our module. In our word counter function, we're calling enum.partition, which is deprecated in favor of enum.splitwidth. Back in our .formatter.exs file, we'll add rename deprecated at, which changes all deprecated functions to their non-deprecated equivalent. Then we'll specify the version we're using, 1.4.5. And with that, we can go to the command line and simply run mix format. Going back to our module, we can see it's been formatted according to our new specifications. Our long lines were broken up, and the deprecated enum.partition function has been changed to enum.splitwidth. Now currently the formatting rules are still being defined, but the Elixir style guide is the closest guide. I think this is a great addition to Elixir and can't wait until the Elixir 1.6 release. Thanks for watching and happy coding.